So how's it going, everybody? This is Adam again from Adam Knows, and we're going to continue our discussion into setting up your e-commerce for 2020. I do apologize for the delay in video, but it's been a very busy first of the year, getting everything ready, building some new sites. I just finished a couple of sites such as Pet Supply World, where it's pet supplies, aromatherapy for the soul. I'm selling aromatherapy products and scented candles. House of Fragrance, which is my perfume and cologne website that I just finished. And one I'm finishing up now, and it'll be up and running this week officially, Organic Bounty store, which is basically organic groceries, products, everything organic that you would find, such as like, for example, Whole Foods. So it's been a busy first of the year. Today, though, we're going to talk about setting up your website, or setting up how you're going to sell your products, I should say. When we last spoke, it was in regards to what type of product you would choose. And at the end, I left a link showing the dropshipper supply list for the United States, which showed a lot of different suppliers for a variety of products. I do apologize that I put it up late. I didn't realize till somebody had pointed out that I hadn't done so. So if you haven't gotten a chance to take a look at it yet, go check out one of my previous videos. You'll see the link for the dropship supplier list for suppliers in the United States. Also, don't forget, you can go to AliExpress and also select suppliers that are in the United States as well, not just China. That helps you out a lot, especially when you're supplying your customers products with speed. Instead of waiting a month, they may be waiting 5 to 10 business days at the max. And that's a plus for you. But anyway, we're going to talk about the different types of websites you can build, and I'm going to also go over some that I do not recommend, and I'm going to explain why, and we're going to start that off with Shopify. Shopify is an e-commerce solution for selling products on the web. It's not website hosting like you would do if you were building your own website. They are a complete solution which offers everything to you, even helping you set up and build a store very easily. There is a catch to this, though, and a lot of people are finding out, unfortunately, weeks, months, years later, as to what's happening. With Shopify, they have a very, very good advertising campaign on pushing you selling your products on their website, well, through their website. There's a lot of things you're paying for, though, and there's a lot of things that you do not control once you sign up with Shopify, which is a problem with a lot of sellers. Let's take a quick look at the pricing. So for example, a basic Shopify store is roughly $30 a month, compared to as if you were doing your own, such as WooCommerce, Magento, something along that line. It could be from $5 to $10 a month. Now with Shopify, they offer users to post unlimited products. They offer support, a sales channel, manual order creation. Basically, that means you can go in and create a specific invoice for someone to pay right then and there instead of going online to buy it. You can enter in coupon codes. You get free SSL encryption, which is very important. You get abandoned cart recovery. Basically, that shows you anyone that's went to your site and loaded things into the cart but did not complete the sale. You can actually go see what they did, who they were, and maybe send them an email message saying, hey, buy this now, we'll give you a coupon code for $5, $10 off, something like that. Going down, when you go to shipping, they offer shipping discounts through Post Office, UPS, DHL, which is all fine and good, but there are ways to get those discounts without using Shopify. as well as creating print shipping labels. A lot of this, and going back to the shipping discounts, most of you that are watching this are looking to do drop shipping, so you would never have to worry about shipping items out to a customer or worry about shipping rates or creating shipping labels. Now we go down a little bit farther. Um, we're looking at Shopify payments. And this is important, and I'm going to come back to this a little while. They offer their own credit card processing payment, which is the average with most of the companies that are out there, 2.9% plus 30 cents for each transaction. That's all fine and good. Now, when you come down here and you see additional fees using all payment providers other than Shopify payments, they also want to get their cut too. This is the very first and big flaw with using Shopify. And a lot of times you have no control over that, especially if they decide they don't want you to use their payment processor. So in addition to paying your own payment processor's fees, they're going to take an additional 2%. So you can be paying close to 5% or more in payment fees to your credit card processor plus Shopify combined, on top of paying $30 a month. I'll give you a perfect example of how that does not work in your favor. I tried Shopify 2 years ago when I created my first perfume and cologne site as a test on Shopify. After I built the site, loaded up 14,000 products onto the website, I got a message 2 weeks later saying, hey, we can't approve your products for sale on Shopify, because they were afraid that somebody was going to come after them because I'm selling brand goods even though I have the right to sell and the permission to sell them. So they took away their payment processor, and I had to use my own. At the time was PayPal. So in addition to paying PayPal their 2.9, I had to pay Shopify 2.0. That does me no good. I'm in the business of making money, not paying everybody out money. And you should think the same way too when it comes to things like this. Now, they offer their point of sale app, which allows you to take credit card right then and there in person if you're selling physical items in person to somewhere. Most of the other features you'll probably never get into, and so we won't even go into it. Now, the reason why I do not recommend Shopify, and this is also a very important reason, you do not own your data. Now, when I say you don't own your data, that means at any time given, for whatever reason, they can shut down your website, delete all of your information. You can't back up your information. You can't retrieve that information. A lot of people are finding that out this year. I'm finding out. Shopify will have customers who've been there for weeks, months, even years, and because they change their policy or they don't like a product, they will shut you down. Basically, you're, excuse my language, ass out of a website, regardless of how much time and effort you put into it. That alone is the reason why not to bother with Shopify on top of the additional fees. Not only that, why are you paying $30 a month? There's no need in any way, shape, or form to pay $30 a month to host your website. What you'd want to do is become familiar with services such as WordPress and WooCommerce. There are others such as Magento, BigCommerce, and more, but they're a little bit more complicated. WooCommerce, WordPress is the most user-friendly out of all of them to start with. And let me pull up an example to show you how that works. Now, this is a site that I've built. Well, actually, this is the control panel for it through WordPress. Through here, you can design a website from scratch, or you can buy what's called a theme, which basically sets up the layout of your website. I use professional themes a lot. That's what gives them a decent look to the website instead of them looking cheap or basic. From here, you can load up products. Let me pull up some. Now here, these are products I've loaded onto this website. Right, this one particularly has 8,735 items at the moment. And let's look at how that looks. And there's two ways of loading products. You can manually enter in each and every product, or you can do what's called an upload of a database with these products to your website. And we're going to cover that 2 more videos down in regards on how to do that. But basically, you're entering in a product title, a description, and a price. And any images that you want to save, which is what we did right here, to identify with the price. We have entered categories for this. In this case, this is a Banana Republic. What is this, a cologne or perfume? This is a perfume. So it's a Banana Republic perfume, so it is categorized, so that makes it easier for the customer to find it. Now, once you've loaded your products, you'll set up your theme. And again, we're going to go into this in more detail in the next video. Let's pull it up just so you can see them. And here are the pages where the themes are loaded onto. So we have a cart page, checkout page, contact information, your home page, your customer's My Account page, a privacy policy, returns. Well, in this case, it's returns and shipping. It explains everything as far as what your return policy is and what your shipping policy is. And then a shop page, which is basically where all of your products are viewed and can be categorized and searched for. But we'll go more into that in the next video. Now, with the WooCommerce, you would need what's called a hosting site to load your website onto. There's hundreds and thousands of different hosting companies. Some of the more popular ones that are known, such as GoDaddy.com. I used them when I first started. They're decent. They have a very good price. They're limited though as far as features that would benefit you for your websites, especially when it comes to loading up products. You can be limited by how much data you uploaded with some features, as well it's very slow at times. Another one, and I'll show you, but I strongly urge you to avoid them, but there are people that will use them. HostGator and GatorHost web hosting. They're very, very large. They always get high ratings. The problem is they're prone to attacks, especially redirect attacks to customers' websites that are hosted by them. When I say that, I mean, say if you had a website on here called www.chocolatefactory.com and someone did a redirect attack on your website, hacking HostGator servers. Every time somebody tried to go to your website, it would redirect them to another website. Say if they wanted you to go to another candy site. So instead of going to chocolatefactory.com, it went to willywonka.com instead, basically stealing your customers. HostGator is prone to that constantly. When I had my site hosted on there, I became a victim of it for 3 of my websites, and my traffic was basically cut in half. Their solution to it was, sorry about that. Their solution to it was pay $300 for their site lock program to clear it out, which I, of course, refused. And then I didn't even realize how bad it was until my company phone number was tied into their phone system. So every time somebody had a issue with being attacked or the website being hacked, they were trying to forward all their customers over to SiteLock. They were forwarded to me instead. So I was getting dozens of calls a day of people complaining about how bad it was using them. So I do not recommend them. Another very good one is StablePoint.com. Now, I am a reseller of StablePoint.com service. They are one of the best, if not the best, as far as web hosting companies in the world. And when I say the world, they're located all over the world. Here in the United States, Europe, several other different countries is where they host from. Now, I am a reseller of their service. I take their service one step farther. With StablePoint and with me as well, you get top-notch hosting with top speed. Everything is loaded on SSD drives. You either get a very large amount of storage space or you get unlimited storage space based upon what type of website you want to build. One of the best features about StablePoint and me being a reseller is the fact that we'll do a lot of things for you at no additional charge. If you went directly with StablePoint, they will transfer, if you already have an existing site, they'll transfer your site in for free. They'll give you a free domain for free, same as me. Customer support, technical issues are handled very quickly. It's usually, if not right then and there, same day, max 24 hours for them to get back at you and finish or repair a situation. Now, with me, we take it one step farther as a reseller by offering free WooCommerce installation software and setup. So that means instead of you just getting a blank slate and you trying to figure out how to load up your software onto there, we do it for you here as a reseller. So if you want a site with WooCommerce WordPress, once you set up your hosting, we'll load it up for you at no additional charge. We even go so far as to add the popular plugins and necessary tools you need to get running, such as a site builder program, antivirus defender program, advertising, Facebook connections, chat messenger, and web crawler, as well as search engine optimizations. So you'll have all of that from the jump. Here, let's see. But even if you don't go with me, I recommend that you go with them. They're perfect, and that's what makes us perfect in serving out the services for our customers. Right now, I have about 103 customers hosted on my service through them. But here's an example. Website starting at $5 a month. You get 100 gigabyte SSD storage, unlimited bandwidth. It's compatible with all software, like I said, such as WordPress, Magento, BigCommerce. Unlimited email accounts. Free SSL certification every year. It's not just the first year free, then you got to pay for it like most places. You get one free domain name registration with your website when you set up. So that means you don't have to pay an additional $15 for url.com. The second one and the third one after that you have to pay for, but the first one's on us. For some of you down the line, when you're thinking about doing more websites, we have packages where allow you to do 10 websites for $10 a month with all of those same features. The only difference is you get unlimited data storage instead of limited storage. Now, when you're asking yourself between Shopify and using a web hosting company, there is the main difference besides the things I pointed out earlier. In addition to that, it's you have the freedom to do whatever you want. If you want to sell CBD oil products, Shopify won't let you sell it. WordPress is not a service, they're a tool that you're using. So that means you can sell whatever you want. So if you want to sell CBD products, if you want to sell firearms, whatever, all of those places that don't allow you to sell it, they will. Basically, you have no limits within reason as far as what you want to sell. So I stress this when you're looking at how to decide how to host your website. And in the next video, we're going to go more into actually setting up a website if you use such as WordPress, as I've said before. Right now, the next thing you have to figure out is how are you going to get paid? In other words, how are people going to be able to pay you? With that, you need what's called a payment processor. Payment processors are companies that will process the credit card charges from your customers onto your website and transfer that money into your bank account. The most popular one of all is PayPal, of course. PayPal is basically used just about anyone and everyone all over the world. To be honest, I hate their guts. And again, I'm going to be more than happy to tell you why. Especially now in 2020. In the beginning, when you did e-commerce, the easiest thing to do was to sign up with a PayPal account, sign up with someone such as eBay, or build a website and just watch the money come in. Now that's kind of difficult to do with PayPal and some of these other payment processors. When you sign up with PayPal, expect to have to come out of pocket for at least 90 days. And sometimes it may be less time than that, but I tell everyone 90 days. Because this is what they're going to do. Say if you created a website and you sold a $100 item on your website and the customer paid by credit card through PayPal or with their PayPal account. PayPal is going to hold that money from you. They can hold that money for up to 23 days, I believe, right now, or until after the product is delivered. Whereas before, you received your money up front, processed the order, and shipped out the product. Now, you process the order, ship out the product, then wait to be paid. Personally, that's not how I do business. When I was selling computers in the beginning, I used PayPal. I would get all of my money up front. So I didn't have to worry about coming out of pocket to pay for a $5,000 computer. The money was there, got the cash, paid for the goods needed to build that computer, built it, shipped it out. Now, if I try to do PayPal again and somebody bought a $5,000 computer, I have to come out of that money out of my own pocket and then hope I get paid. And when I say I hope I get paid, because at any time now, PayPal can hold your funds for up to 6 months, which does me no good. That means I just shipped off a $5,000 PC and now I won't get paid until 6 months later. Another thing they are notorious for doing right now is adding what's called a reserve to your sale. When I say adding a reserve, this is an example. Say I sold that same $5,000 computer. And they tell me, okay, we're going to hold your money, and they want you to jump through hoops and hurdles to verify who you are, which is not a problem. I understand that. I can appreciate that. But then, let's just say, okay, they come back, okay, you're verified, but we don't trust you yet. So what we're going to do is, For every sale that you make, we're going to take a 12% reserve of that sale for a time till we deem we don't need to do it anymore. So out of that, say they said, and they can take up to 25%. So if they decided to take 25% of $5,000, that means they're holding $1,250 of my money until they decide to give it back to me. Here's a problem. With that $5,000 computer, I didn't make $1,250. Majority of that went into the product itself. Realistically, I may have made $100 or $200 max on that computer. But now I'm out negative $1,250 on their say-so. That's what a reserve is. And they are doing that left and right to customers, whether you're selling on your website or if you're selling on places such as eBay or other sites. So I avoid them altogether. Another reason why you want to avoid PayPal, especially if you're selling high ticket items. When I say high ticket items, I'm referring to items. My idea is a couple of $100s and higher. But for lack of argument, I'm going to say $50 to $100 or higher. PayPal is notorious for siding with the customer no matter what. I have a video, I'm going to put the link up, and you can hear an example of the troubles that I went through when I was dealing with PayPal. I used to record the phone conversations because you literally had to be able to catch them in their own lies and force them to backstep. A person with PayPal who bought something from you, for example, I had a customer buy a computer. Bought a $2,000 computer. It was shipped, packaged safely, arrived to him safely. The customer decided he spent too much. He really didn't want to spend that much on a computer. He had buyer's remorse, so he wanted to return it, or he wanted to exchange it, or he just wanted me to give him a break on the price. Of course, we're not giving him a break on the price, which was the situation. So what he did, he contacted PayPal and filed a dispute saying the item was not as described, even though it was. The customer basically just wanted his money and have the computer at the same time. So PayPal said, return the computer and we're going to refund your money, which is no problem. Returns happen. You're going to find that out as you go along. You're going to have unhappy customers for one reason or the other. This customer, though, decided instead of returning the computer, he returned a component out of the computer, packaged it up, and shipped it back to me, then told PayPal I returned the computer. PayPal, in their stupidity, said okay, and automatically yanked the money out of my account and gave him back his money. I fought with PayPal for about 3 months on that in regards to how the customer basically stole the computer and basically sent back a part out of that computer. If you want, you'll hear that in that phone conversation, because that's what that video is about specifically. But the thing is, PayPal will bypass whatever you say. They will disregard any policy you set for your store. So if you set a return policy of 15 days, 30 days, 2 months later, PayPal can still force you to take back a return regardless. And I've seen them do it for the craziest of things. Probably some of the most outrageous things is swimwear. You can't return swimwear after you've worn it. PayPal will force you to take that swimwear back, though. Making it useless to you means you're out of money, because now you have a useless product you can't sell, as well as no money. PayPal will allow you to get screwed in fraud and every other way imaginable as well. They offer seller protection, but that seller protection only goes so far. They do not care about the seller. Unfortunately, I've had to deal with that multiple times, which is why I don't use them anymore. Now, one processor I do recommend if you're starting out is Stripe. They work similar to PayPal. I hear they're starting to do reserves, but they're not holding the money as long. You do get your money unless you actually do something stupid, so you want to avoid trying to do anything like that. Another, and this is one of the ones I use, and to me they're the best ones out there, is Klarna. Klarna's biggest thing right now is, as you see, shop now, pay later. The customer can pay right then and there for their products, or they can set up their purchase in installment payments. Meaning, say if they bought a $100 pair of jeans, they can set up an installment plan where they pay $25 every 2 weeks. Or if they bought $1,000 worth of items, they can finance it completely altogether in terms of 90 days, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years max. That has been the biggest boost for my business since I ever started. The fact that they'll allow installment payments on high ticket prices where people who may not be able to finance, but they can make payments on something without having to worry about interest or any additional fees is beautiful. With my car audio site, with my computer site, people use it all day, every day. I'd say 75% of my sales right now are installment payment or finance based through all of my websites with Klarna. I strongly recommend them. You don't have to worry about reserves. You don't have to worry about the crap with the disputes. And that's another thing I love about them so much. I'll give you a perfect example. I had a customer buy a $1,000 radio from me, from my car audio site. 5 days after he got it, he was having problems with it. And I told him, okay, well, you do have 30 days to return. If you're still having problems after you go see a professional installer, just let me know. I will happily take back the return and give you a full refund. That was 5 days into him having the product. 15 days into him having the product, I contacted him again to make sure, did he need to return it or anything. I couldn't reach him, so I left him an email just so I had something for record that I did contact him to make sure everything was okay and to make sure he knew he had so much time to return the product. Well, 40 days later, he files a credit card dispute with his company saying item not as described, he was not happy with the product. And Klarna contacted me with it, letting me know what the customer had did and asked me what did I want to do. And I provided the documentation showing that we did speak to the customer and told him he had 30 days to return his items. After that, you can't return products. That's our policy with electronics. And seeing that, they held to our policy. Something PayPal would never do. They will look at your policy, laugh, and kick it to the side, whereas Klarna did not. So I'm grateful for them on that, and I always speak highly of them whenever someone asks. And they will benefit your retail site in ways you don't even know, such as placing you on the directory, and just the simple fact of being able to finance. So I do recommend them. Now, if you're someone that's doing something like clothing, there is a similar program called AllPay that's just like Klarna, but they only deal with clothes, fashion, that sort of thing. Klarna will allow you to sell anything and everything. If you are interested, shoot me a message or post in the comments below. I can hook you up with my representative. He gets sites set up in 48 hours or less. Literally, as soon as I finish a site, I'm like, Patrick, here's my new site. 2 days later, Adam, you're good to go. Your site is ready to take payments. All you have to do is enter in the plugin. And boom, I'm selling products. One more payment processor I'm going to share with you, which is also good as well, is Square. A lot of you are familiar with Square when they first came into the market with the little payment processor adapters that plugged right into your phone and allowed you to swipe a card in person no matter where you were at. Now they do offer e-commerce, and they're pretty good as well. I'm sorry, I didn't mention this with Klarna. As with Klarna and Square, their processing rate is 2.9% plus 30 cents. For those of you that don't know what that means if you sell a product for $100, they charge you a fee of $2.90 plus 30 cents for taking that payment. Square is pretty good too. I used them before. I went from them to Klarna for the financing features that they offered that Square didn't. If you're not worried about financing or anything like that, Square is perfect. They're very good to their sellers. Sometimes you may have to do verifications, especially if you pick up gradually. Well, not gradually, if you pick up fast. When I first started, I had transferred from PayPal to Square. And because I was already getting sales, I had boom, sales after sales after sales. So when you're a new company coming in and they're seeing $1,000, $1,000, $5,000, $3,000, $2,000, they're going to want to take a closer look at you to see what you're doing just to make sure it's all on the up and up and make sure people aren't getting robbed or they're not getting robbed. So expect that sometimes. Even with Stripe, you can expect that. You can and run across some of the problems with customer disputes and chargebacks and theft with Square and Stripe faster than you would with Klarna. The main reason why is Klarna, and not just Klarna, I should also mention this too, merchant accounts from your bank. So for example, if you set up a business checking account, that bank offers the same type of credit card processing payments. Klarna and banks use what's called underwriters. Underwriters look at your company to assess the threat risk to them in regards to losing money. If they think you're a good case, they will approve you, then you never have to worry about problems like that, which is one of the reasons why I love Klarna. I don't have to worry about reserves, freezes of payments, or anything of that nature. I get the money, it's deposited in my account, no questions asked. The last thing I'm going to go over is why I do not recommend selling on eBay and Amazon right now. eBay is one of the largest auction sites to sell products. Right now it's kind of screwed up, especially for new sellers. Same thing, you can only sell with PayPal right now while they're finalizing their own payment processing system, which they have a test market using. That's the one reason why you don't want to use them. Second reason, you're very limited as far as what you can sell within the first 90 days. And then you don't get paid up front. Same thing. Even if PayPal was going to give you the funds, they won't give you the funds for the first 90 days. Not only that, their presence on the web is kind of screwed right now. And what I'm referring to is their Google presence. Usually you used to be able to come in and post an item and it would be sold within a week. It's now that much harder to sell items on eBay if you're not an established seller that's been there for 5, 6, 7 plus years. So I tell people to avoid that. Amazon. I love Amazon. We all shop at Amazon. I'm sure you do as much as I do. The problem with them right now, and someone just approached me with the problem with Amazon, it's very hard for you to be found on Amazon. And then when you are, and if you're selling a good product, and I had to deal with this before when I sold on Amazon, competitors can easily descend on your page and leave so much negative info that Amazon will lock and block your account until such a time they feel, if at all, to reopen it. As a matter of fact, I was just asked if I could leave a positive feedback for someone because they had sold a product and then other competitors saw it and they left tons and tons of negative reviews for no reason, basically, so their sales wouldn't be affected. So I would avoid those two for now. Stick with the websites as far as your e-commerce. Next week, we're going to talk about, in addition to the websites, Facebook Marketplace and Facebook business pages. I need more time to speak about the Facebook business pages than I have today about all of the rest of this stuff I've explained. So if you got any questions, please post them below. I'll post my email at the bottom. It's adamknows@raptortechcompanies.com. Thanks for watching. If you like, click like for me to make more videos. If not, don't. Leave a comment, good or bad. Thanks a lot.